let the last few people matriculate into the event here. It's great to be back in Del Mar. I wrote the Sun Food Diet Success System living across the highway over here. How many people have read the Sun Food Diet? How many people burned it? They're still doing that. How many people gave a copy to their friend and never got it back? Does that happen? Anyway, that book was about 9 years ago. We put that out, and then it's really been my whole career around that book. And eventually, it's going to turn into the 10th anniversary edition here next year, which Random House is going to get behind. So Random House is standing behind me now, thank God. Random House kind of approached me and said, hey, you know, we're interested in kind of doing this deal with you. And I thought, okay, but it has to be this way, this, that, this, and all excess profits go to our nonprofit Fruit Tree Planting Foundation. You cool with that? And they're like, yeah, sure. I was like, whoa. So I'm really into the politics of what you can do right now inside yourself, inside your own home, with your family that's real, it's not theoretical, and it's not esoteric. It's not some kind of far-out concept like, okay, we're going to meditate on God for 7 hours in a closet. Because that, I don't know. I've seen the people who do that, and it's like, okay, they're a little far out there. This is like getting real in the real world. What I'm going to talk about today is actually real food, which means it's food that hasn't been damaged by processing, heating, roasting, broasting, toasting, microwaving, chemically changing, adding preservatives, adding dyes, adding pesticides, adding larvicides, fungicides, herbicides, suicides, all of it. And it's really interesting because it's the most obvious thing ever. It's the most simple thing possible, and it tastes good. And eventually what happens is it just starts wearing you off the other stuff. It's like, I can't do that. I don't even want that stuff anymore because it doesn't taste good, and it's not good for you, and it's not even entertaining. There's no entertainment left in it. And it happens automatically without trying. How many people would love to change their diet without trying? How many people here brush their teeth? That was a good response. I mean, sometimes they get half the audience, and they're like, okay. We have a technology now where we can actually leverage the universe in our favor better than ever before. That's really what technology is about. It's not really just like the technology of a calculator or an automobile or a computer. A technology is the ability to leverage your time and energy to produce a greater and greater result. So you're producing a greater result with less work. And that's the point of all nutrition, really. That's the point of all health is, hey, if we just do a few key things, how do we get the maximum result? And that's really what my work has been about for 15 years. And surprise, surprise, I've actually been eating raw organic food for 15 years only. You know what's amazing? Here's what's amazing, that I'm still alive. Because everybody's like, no, your ear is going to fall off. That's going to happen. This is going to happen. Your toenail. And they were all very sincere and concerned, and they were sincerely wrong, right? Because it's just like, it's like every bit of technology moves forward in this way. First, total disbelief. Second, like very virulent opposition. Third, oh yeah, it's obvious, isn't it? Like there was never any opposition, never any problem. It was like, oh yeah, of course. And so now we're kind of with live food, it's come to a point now where all the opposition just kind of fades away because we all know now junk food is junk. We all know the food doesn't have any minerals in it. We know that people are actually more obese than ever before, even though we have the best food ever. We just don't know what it is. And that education or knowledge about what it is everything because we can only eat so much in a day, right? You can eat all day, but there's only so much you could eat in a day and so many different things. So what if you just said, you know, instead of all that, let's just have this? What would happen? So I've been doing that, and it's pretty remarkable. Here's the best thing I've come up with in the last 15 years. You ready for this? This is shocking information. The most powerful phrase that I could come up with all the research, all the time, energy, focus in this field. You ready? You are what you eat. What a surprise. I've literally been really focusing, because I'm trained in this field, in the personal development success field, of really delivering to those people in that world, like, hey, I don't care how much positive thinking you have, I don't care how many times you watch The Secret, I don't care how much you believe in the law of attraction, if you're eating junk food, it doesn't work, period. Because I know those guys, the big guys, right? And I've seen what's going on behind the scenes. And it's not pretty. It's like, whoa, I don't want that. I don't want to be like that, right? Because it's kind of a show. It's kind of a front. But for me, see, when I was 14 years old, my mom sent me to a summer camp. I was pissed off. You know when you're 14, summertime, you want to hang out with your friends, you know how that is. So I got sent to a summer camp. I mean, San Diego. I grew up in San Diego. I was at the beach right here in Del Mar. This is where I wanted to hang out, but I got sent to some camp up in Sacramento. Oh. Unbelievable. So we're up there, I think it was 10 days. And my life was going one way, and that turned it another way, because what actually happened was I got educated about how to learn. And that got me turned on to Napoleon Hill, Earl Nightingale, Jim Rohn. Actually, Tony Robbins was there as a teacher in 1984. We spent the day with him. I've known Tony Robbins since 1984. And I got oriented towards that kind of material. And really, it's built into me, hardwired since I was 14 years old. That material is built in, hardwired all the way in. And I'm here to tell you that you are what you think about all day long. You are what you attract is not as powerful as you are what you eat. You are what you eat underpins it all. Maybe it's, I don't know, people say, no, come on, exercise is important. Look, I did a 28-mile hike in the Grand Canyon from 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. last Saturday. I'm sorry, 2 Saturdays ago. With no exercise, no training, no nothing. Like desk job, let's go to the Grand Canyon. Boom, we went all the way down from Supai, Havasupai, all the way to the Colorado River and back. No stretching, no yoga, no whatever. Well, how come a deer isn't doing yoga? Or a gorilla? Or imagine, here's another one. Imagine if a deer decided, you know what, we need to start cooking our food. So they got a big pot out, right, put a bunch of sticks under it, and started boiling grass. Isn't that interesting? Or gorillas. Imagine like we fed a tribe of gorillas coffee and donuts for a week. So it's like, what I'm talking about here is getting back to normal and what's actually normally available to us, because we were not born attached to a stove, a microwave, a processing plant, a manufacturing food facility, right? How are we born? Nude with no shoes, no weapons, right? And teeth that cannot chaw into anything because there ain't no teeth. So what is available to us from the time we're born all the way through the last years of our life? And that is what's easy to eat, what's easy to sneak up on is lettuce. And what's difficult to sneak up on is a rabbit. You ever tried to catch a rabbit with your bare hands? It's literally impossible. I mean, it's literally impossible. Or a chicken, man. Remember Rocky? Remember he runs around trying to get the chicken? I tried to do that because we have a place in Hawaii and there's wild chickens there, and they are a problem. And I don't eat chicken, so they're obviously hanging out in my yard. And they start going off at 1 in the morning. I mean, it's unreal. It's all hours of the night, this thing. It's like, oh my God. So one day I was pissed off. They got in my garden, and I chased one down, and I finally was like, I'm going to grab this chicken. I could not get the chicken. Couldn't chase the chicken down. Anyway, so